Hello and welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting's coverage of the first ever event of the Spec-5 World Tour here on SMB. My name is Adam Thompson and I am joined by the always lovely Alex Anderson, who I am so glad could make. Tonight we're here at Road Atlanta. Just a little bit of info here about Road Atlanta. It started about in the 1950s. It's a 2.5-mile road course located just north of Braselton, Georgia. Facility is utilized for a wide variety of events, including professional and amateur sports car and motorcycle races, racing and driving schools, corporate programs, and testing for motorsports teams. The track has 12 turns, including the infamous S's, which we will take you guys through here during the qualifying session. Between turns 3 and 5, technically 4 and 5, the S's aren't really corners, and turn 12, the final turn on the track, downhill, full speed, right-hander. It's going to be great to see all these guys going through there. It's been featured as one of the main drivable courses in a lot of games, including Forza Motorsports, the 1999 PC Racing Simulator Sports Car GT. The track was also digitally created for Electronic Arts F1 series, and then modded to be compatible with multiple PC games. This includes R Factor, NASCAR Racing 2003, which you guys probably know, BeamNG, PlayStation 2 game Le Mans 24 Hours, never heard of that one, and of course, your one and only iRacing.com. Alex, welcome in, my man. How are you doing tonight? What do you think? What are you thinking of the race going on tonight?
Well, Adam, I'm having a good night tonight, and I'm honestly really excited for this race. I really love the Miatas on this service. You know, they don't have a lot of horsepower, they aren't very fast, which, you would think some very boring racing. But at this track, from what I'm looking at, I believe there's going to be only maybe 3 corners they need to brake for. So they are going to be pack racing throughout this entire race, going through every corner as hard as they can, all fighting to cross the line first when it's all said and done. Adam, I think we are in for an amazing show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Me too. I mean, this is just going to be I've followed this league and I've watched this league before. Never broadcasted it, so this is a first time for me. But watching this league and the guys that are in this league are absolutely unbelievable drivers. The racing is always close. It's going to be action-packed throughout the whole race. And there are some straightaways on this track that I think are really going to lend itself to the drafting that these Miatas can produce, also known as a slipstream. And it's going to be super interesting, especially going down into turn 10A and 10B. I apologize, Lewis is barking. 10A and 10B, which is going to be super hard braking after you're going through turns 8 and turn 9, which technically isn't a corner, I'd say. But it's still what I would consider I guess if you want to call them corners, but that is just a giant straightaway. And then again, through 12 down into 1, also going to be pretty interesting to see what's going on here, for the rest of the night. So right now we're in qualifying. Nobody's really come out on track yet. Trying to see if we can get somebody. Going to pull up the track map for you guys. Actually, as Charles Vaccaro is going to be coming out here for, his outlap. So this is an open qualifying, guys. 15 minutes. Run as many laps as you want. I think Slipstream may come into play here. A little bit of, I wouldn't call it argy-bargy, but maybe some teamwork. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, if there are definitely teammates in this race, you just know they're going to work together F1 style. If some guys finish their lap, they're low on fuel, they're just trying to crawl it to the pits, I believe that they are absolutely, as Charles Vaccaro goes off track there a little, I believe they're absolutely going to try and help their teammates. They're going to pull into the racing line, get their teammate that toe, so they can get a better lap going and get more speed to try and qualify further up. And qualifying, if we pack race at this road course with these Miatas, it's not going to be easy to make your way towards the front. Everybody's going to be racing in close proximity. There's going to be hard braking. It's going to take a lot of willpower to go as hard as you can into a corner, making up as many spots as possible without having the fear of hitting someone and ending your own race. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these drivers do here, and if they use teamwork to try and get a better lap, and where that might put maybe a more inexperienced driver towards the front, or it could send a more experienced driver to the rear. We just don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is going to be pretty interesting here. We're just following, again, Charles Vaccaro around right now. Just kind of getting a feel of the track. We're going to try to see. For some reason, I'm not getting any cars on the track map right now, and that might be, well, it's probably an overlay issue, but we're just going to go with it for now. So we're going to go ahead and follow on board here with Charles, Alex. If you want to take us, well, this is now he's coming through, going to be coming through the S's here. So we'll probably start in the S's going here into turn 6 and 7. So this is,
well,
go ahead.
Well, he's coming down that long straightaway. Again, we're going to see a lot of drafting opportunities for these drivers to try and make moves, there's going to be some dive bomb passes as we come down. We break into turn 6 and 7. You come right out to the curbs, and then you go right back to the bottom to come right out to the curbs to go down this straightaway. And now it's going uphill. If you can get behind somebody and get their slipstream, you're going to get a huge run coming downhill into this chicane. And Charles Vaccaro, he comes through where the DRS zone is. He's just going full throttle, trying to control his car as best as he can, trying not to turn that wheel. You don't want to turn the car, or else it's going to slow you down. Hard braking down into this chicane. You got to just keep it smooth here. You don't want to get it off track. You're going to come through those, hit both those rumble strips, then on the rumble strips on exit as well. Full throttle over this crest and then down the hill, and full throttle through the last corner as well to complete your lap and go down the front straightaway. Yeah,
so right now we've got Simon Foweather up here leading the pack. Greg, I see Greg's here in the YouTube chat. I've already made a mistake, Alex. It was opened in the 70s and not the 50s, so I apologize about that. And I know Greg Ginsburg knows exactly what he's talking about. So sorry about that, Greg, and I'm sorry about that for any of the other viewers that are out here watching. But he also wanted to make sure that Brennan, I'm sure you're probably listening because you listen to everything going on, wants to see if you're going to be texting and driving again. You know, I think he caught that XTC race that we covered, and I don't know if that was the best idea for you to do that. So hopefully, maybe he's learned a little bit of something, but we never know. We'll see if we can actually get on to Brendan Horn here. So Brendan Horn, one of the sponsors here. I'm going to call him a sponsor because why not? He's one of the admins here, and he owns Brennan.Horn Photography. Again, this is Brennan, not me. I didn't name the thing. He did. Basically, what he does is he'll get pictures of your iRacing series, your iRacing, just anything that you want. He can also do real life photos. If you want to reach out to him, go to www.brennanhorn-photo.com/contact. Horn is spelled Houran. So again, thanks, Brennan, for putting this league on, and thanks for bringing me on, man. I know you're kind of taking a chance here. We haven't, still kind of getting ourselves situated here, Alex, but I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've been doing a great job with these past few broadcasts. As Brendan Horn, he's going to come down this back straightaway here, and it's like we were talking about, again, coming over these hills, you're going to get huge drafting runs as you come down to breaking this chicane. So back to the racing activities, as Coimbra in the 78 sets the fastest lap with a 1:35.938 as Brennan's going to come through the chicane.
That is extremely impressive for Coimbra as he is, hey, look, we got cars on track now, coming through the S's now. Going to be going up here into 5, then into 6, then into 7, and then again, those two corners that you see back there, we're going to call them 8 and 9, but they really aren't corners. I don't really know why Road Atlanta decided to name them that, and maybe if Greg's watching, he might know, but yeah, so anyways, that's a great lap by Coimbra. Let me tell you, I know there's a guy in this league by the name of Joshua Soto who is extremely quick, and right now he's in 4th place. I wouldn't expect him to stay there. A little bit of info on Josh as well. He's a real-world driver. Races Spec Miatas in Florida, believe it or not. So I think this is right down his wheelhouse. I know he's pretty quick. I've seen him on track a few times. I've actually raced in a practice session or two with him, and he's extremely quick. But showing it right now, Coimbra's got the advantage, and he's got it by quite a bit, as Soto's not improving on his first lap.
Now Soto, he's going to have to put the pedal to the floor here. As we were saying, Rui Coimbra set down a blazing lap time. That lap, you're not going to see a lot of drivers be able to come even close to hitting that. A very great lap time from that driver. So Joshua Soto, he's going to have to nail every apex. He's going to have to hit every braking zone perfectly to try and get through these laps and try and set the fastest one down. We don't know if he's going to be able to set a lap faster than Rui Coimbra's, but judging off his driving, I think he's going to be damn close.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here to see. And again, guys, these gaps right now, they're showing 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths. Let me tell you what, that does not matter at all when we get into the race. Because of the slipstream, this track lends itself to slipstream, especially in vehicles like this on these big straightaways. It is going to be interesting. This is going to be close pack racing for all of the 45 minutes that we've got in this race. So going to be pretty interesting to see how these guys get on. But before I go any further, I want you guys to take a look at the top of the screen there. It's going to show an open and a pro. So the open is technically the rookie class in this series, and the pro series, obviously the pro series. All these guys are fighting for the same points at the end of the day, but there is an open championship and a pro championship. Right now, I'll go ahead and take you guys to these points before we get into the race of what's coming in right now. So in the pro series, Mitchell Peak is up there with 240 points. Dang it. Almost messed up there. Zableski, I got it right. In second place, Borovic in third, Rath in fourth, Fike in fifth, Coimbra sixth, Staub seventh. Brennan way back down there in eighth place. Come on, Brennan, I know you can do better than that. Ninth is Joshua Soto. 10th is Wan Chi Lin. 11th, Elvis Rankin. 12th, Zach Burke. 13th, Langer. 14th, Jedediah Babinek. And 15th is Kenneth Staub. And Alex, if you want to take us through the Open Series, I'll get that pulled up for you right now.
I apologize in advance if I don't say a name correctly, but Charles Ficarro currently leads the Open Series with 154 points, followed by Simon Foweather with 151, Sean Hayes with 144, and then Greg Brockway with 141. Michael Sand in 5th, Jose Gonzalez in 6th, Paulo Coimbra in 7th, John Casey in 8th, Charles Boley in 9th, Otis Adams Jr. in 10th, Joe Camilleri in 11th, Edgar Sanginelli in 12th, and Josh Olson rounds out the top 13 with 47 points.
Yeah, so here we go back to the qualifying right now. Not really much has changed. Coimbra's still up there, about 2 tenths quicker than anybody else. Otis Adams is the first place here, and looks like he's already done qualifying. Sorry we didn't get a lap with you, Otis, but first place there in the Open Series. And he is showing right now a 136.323, which isn't that far off. About 3 tenths of a second off Coimbra, but like I mentioned, all these guys are going to be racing, for the same points. And they start at 60 points here tonight. So, and they go down by 1. So first place gets 60, second gets 59, so on and so forth. There's also a bonus point for the first qualifying position, as well as leading a lap. So these guys do have ways to get bonus points. Also, Mr. Clean there at the end of the season for trophies. For the least amount of incidents. Brennan makes all these trophies, so big shout out to him for doing everything he does for the league. But looks like qualifying's going to be wrapping up here pretty quickly. I don't really see any other drivers out on track, so everybody's just kind of hanging out right now. I'll go ahead and show you guys real quick the class position where everybody's in right now. So it's going to show you as Coimbra there in first, Borovic in second. Well, Staub's going again, and speaking of Staub, I do have a little bit of information on him. He is a real-world driver in the IMSA Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup, as well as select NASA and SCCA races. He's a restructuring attorney at Haynes & Boone LLP. His father, Kenneth Staub, I don't know, is he in the field tonight? I don't believe he is, but it's a father-son team for Team Hardway Racing. Pretty cool to see these guys out here doing what they do.
Yeah, and the Saabs, obviously, all very fast drivers. They all really know how to get around a racetrack. As Staub comes out of the hard braking zone and down this back straightaway to try and complete his lap. It looks like he hasn't gotten much faster on the sectors as they're yellow down there. Looks like he hasn't matched his best, and he hasn't been able to catch up to Coimbra up in first. But obviously a fantastic driver down from Texas. He knows exactly what he's doing here, and I think he's going to be a real shot to try and win this race.
Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely think that we're going to have a pretty interesting battle on our hands. I mean, these guys, they're obviously showing pretty far off right now in the qualifying session. But when it comes to the race, again, all of this doesn't matter. Brendan Horn was the fastest in practice for quite a long time. So, yeah. Anyways, here we go. We're going to go ahead and grid up. Let me bring up the grid for you. So in first place, we've got Rui Coimbra. Second's Nicky Borovic. Third is David Staub. Fourth, Joshua Soto. Fifth, Brendan Horn. Sixth is Linger. Seventh is Rath. Eighth is Fike. Ninth is Zableski. That rounds out your Pro Series. Again, guys, this is sorted right now by the grid. So, or not by the grid, but by the classes. So I'm going to let you take us through the open. Alex. I'll go ahead and take us through the open. First place is Otis Adams. Second is Simon Foweather. Third is going to be Michael Inocencio. Fourth is Jose Gonzalez. Fifth, Paulo Coimbra. Sixth, Charles Vaccaro. Seventh is Sean Hayes. Eighth is Greg Brockway. While I'm here, might as well mention Greg real quick. Greg is the owner of GB Consulting Incorporated. He provides the computing power that makes the Spec-5 World Tour possible. So thank you very much, Greg, for doing all you do for the league. You can see him down there on the bottom left with his logo. Ninth is going to be Andrew Wozencroft, and 10th is Patrick Prevenas. Probably didn't get that right, Patrick, and I apologize. But anyways, that's going to round out our grid for the race here. And let me get this pulled back to where we can see just everybody in their overall classes. So again, you've got Coimbra there. 4 pros there starting first through fourth. What do you think's going to be happening here, Alex? I mean, on the start, it's a 45-minute race.
I think that the start of the race, it's going to be probably the best chance for some of these guys that are further towards the back of the field to try and make up some spots here and try and get to the front. But it's going to be very difficult because as you come through turn 1, it's going to tighten up very much as you come into the S's. It's going to be hard to go side by side through there without losing a lot of time. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see which drivers stay aggressive and try and make it 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide to try and make some spots up at the start of this race. Or some drivers are going to play cautious, try and get single file through those S's, and try and make their moves later during the latter half of this race.
Yeah, no, this is going to be interesting. All these guys trying to get through here right now. I mean, if you're even looking on a qualifying lap here, it is pretty intense. And these guys aren't even going fast yet. So y'all better get ready. It's going to be knockdown, drag out, 45 minutes race. It's going to be, I mean, it's always interesting to watch, these guys. Brendan has put together an amazing league here. I'm not even going to call him a friend, but Brendan and Greg have been around for a while. Brendan's part of XSLR, a league that I run, and hop over here and watch some of his races when he's got them broadcasted. It's pretty cool to see how these guys are doing and what exactly they've been able to put together here. So just still following the pace car around here. Going to be a few more. They have just now come through 7. They're going to go through turns 8 and turn 9, which we're not going to call turn 8 and turn 9. We're just going to call it the back straight from here on out. So we're going to be skipping from 7 to 10A to 10B. And 10A and 10B, I think, is where we're going to see a lot of overtaking opportunities, Alex. Huge braking zone into that chicane.
Yeah, and it's just like I was saying about the start when drivers being aggressive. First lap, second, third lap, fourth lap, hell, even in the last minute of this race, I am I'm expecting a lot of dive bomb passes trying to go through that chicane. These guys are going to try their hardest to brake as late as they can to get an advantage through that corner over their competitors, and it's going to be interesting to see who chooses to do that and who opts out.
Yeah, absolutely. So here they come. We got the track map open. This is through 10A and 10B. They're going to be coming through 11. The pace car is going to pull off, and it is going to be... I don't know. I don't have the information if they're starting on green. Looks like they're not. They're starting on the leader, and Coimbra is already far ahead away of the field. Going to make sure he is super clear going into turn one. We have got battles going on all over the field, guys. I don't know really what to follow here. It's going to be passing all over the place. We got Soto there in 4th place, trying to make it. Looks like he's going to be able to at least kind of stay clear a little bit of the 135 of, I apologize, of the 36 of Staub. So these guys are all kind of falling in place right now. Again, very long race. So pretty clean, really, here at the start.
Yeah, everybody holds it together. They keep their lines straight. And now it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like the usual draft range for iRacing is within about 1 second, maybe 8/10. And the 75 has already fallen out of that, and now it's going to be interesting to see if these guys actually work together to try and use the draft to catch up. Normally you would hear that with teammates on plate tracks like Talladega or Daytona, but with how long these straightaways are, and with what these Miatas can do, it's going to be interesting to see if they try and work together as the 75 already starts making up time on Coimbra. He's within 8/10 now as they go hard braking into the chicane. I'd be willing to expect some dive bombs here.
Yeah, so this is Borovic in the 75 here, trying to just gain a little bit of time here on the 78 of Coimbra. Again, Borovic and Soto I don't think are going to be battling that much as they're still gaining a little bit of time. You know, I've run these cars in iRacing, actually, in the league that I'm in, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this in real life. I don't think you are, but bump drafting is definitely a thing in these Miatas. You can, if you do it right, you can definitely gain some time, but extremely hard to do. But man, these guys are still gaining some time. Looks like working together here, not trying to make any moves is working out.
Yeah, and the bump drafting is really going to come into play down that back straight, especially with Borovic and Soto with the way they're running, trying to catch up to Coimbra. I wouldn't be surprised if down this back straightaway, Soto gets up to Borovic's rear bumper, and instead of trying to go around him, he tries to push him, but it doesn't look like he's going to have the chances. Borovic gets right up on the back bumper of Coimbra, looks for a move, he's not going to get there. Let's see if he gets something down this back straightaway with Soto there, as they're going to have a huge slipstream run down this back straightaway. It's going to be interesting to see how they use it.
All right, guys, again, I apologize. I know we're trying to, there's so many cars, and the battling is going to be so close here. We're going to stick here on the leaders here to see kind of what happens in this. I'm going to call it a DRS train, even though it's not really a DRS train because these cars don't have DRS. And as I'm talking about it, you can see Borovic pushing Coimbra down the straight as Soto looks like he's going to get them both.
Yeah, and Soto, a fantastic move. I really thought Borovic was going to take that run. I'm surprised he didn't. I think maybe he was trying to push Coimbra in that corner a little faster than he wanted to go, which would be a very aggressive move this early in the race. Or Borovic is just trying to save his stuff for maybe a few minutes later. As he tries to go to the inside, it looks like he's not going to get there. But now it's going to be interesting to see what Coimbra does to try and take back that lead from Soto, or if he's going to stay back there and try and save his stuff for the end of this race.
That was an unbelievable move. We're going to have to go back and watch it again because, to be honest, I want to. So Soto gets around 2 cars. I mean, I just lap 1, lap 2, and Soto just gets to the left-hand side, doesn't need the slipstream. Looks like it had to have been Coimbra just getting on the brakes. Yeah, you're right. Just a little early. Soto just breezes right past him.
Yeah, and that might have had the added benefit of him getting a draft run, as Coimbra actually took the lead back, probably down that straightaway.
Well, we're going to find out right now. So, Soto gets up. Ooh, that turn 5 is very, very tricky. That's going to be extremely tough for these guys the whole race. You're going downhill through the S's. Got to get on the brakes. car wiggles around just a little bit, but that's how Coimbra was able to get it done there.
Yeah, and now actually we missed
Oh
it
my
again.
goodness.
Borovic takes the lead, and Soto, he's going to take second away from Coimbra. Borovic is going to lead lap 3 here, it looks like. Now they just need to get that run again, but going back to Soto's move through the chicane, again, a very aggressive late braking move. You could see the rear brakes on that 135 Miata glowing from hard braking, and honestly, it was a very late braking move. You know, Coimbra probably just braked a little bit earlier there.
You know,
but
I would...
Go ahead. He had the added benefit of getting the draft from 2 cars. The draft is powerful enough just when you have 1 car in front of you. But when you have a car in front of you that's getting a run off the car in front of him, and this is going to sound confusing, but you're getting a run off the guy that's getting a run off the guy in front of him, you're going to get a huge slipstream speed boost going down that straightaway. And that's probably what happened. He got a speed boost off of Borovic's already great speed from the slipstream, and he probably used that to dive to the inside there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we haven't followed right now. First place in the open class. Again, red is pro, blue is open. Got Otis Adams up here. He is getting hunted by Foweather there in 2nd place in the open class, 6th place overall. So, going to kind of see what happens here. Again, going into 10A and 10B. This is where a lot of the overtaking moves. And look at them just looked like they were on each other's bumpers as there's still racing going on up front, but kind of see if Foweather looks like he's just going to give Otis just a little bit of space here. He is, and just kind of get through there.
And Foweather, I know it's very early in the race, obviously. We have just under 40 minutes of racing left, but honestly, with the way they're racing, a front pack has already emerged from the back half of the field, so I wouldn't be surprised if the drivers start getting more aggressive. Maybe the pack splitting up a little tries to push them into getting in front of a guy in front of them for position, because obviously they're all going for the same amount of points, even in 2 different classes, so everybody needs all the points they can get. As Otis Adams, a late upshift, you could hear him on the rev limiter there, as we're going to see if Soto can get a run, but obviously it's going to be a great battle for the open guys.
Uh-oh. Oh, no!
Borovic
gets pretty loosey-goosey there. Now we're going 3 wide here.
3 wide.
This is going to be interesting. Everybody gets through there okay. Who was that just drove around the outside of all of them? Was that David Staub? It was.
That was David Staub, a very aggressive move. He saw the opportunity from Borovic and Coimbra having to slow down, sails it around the outside, and picks up 2 spots. But now they're out of a second of Soto, so now they're going to have to really put their noses to the grindstone in order to make that ground back up. But Borovic and Soto made it look easy to catch up to Coimbra on the start when they were a second out. But now, they're probably desperate for spots here, but Borovic goes for the position on David Staub. But that's not going to help them too much here, as they're going to lose even more time to Soto as they come to the last corner.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see. Again, Soto, I know, is quick. I've watched him before. I know the guy's quick. He's still trying to break the draft. 1.2 seconds ahead right now. Still trying to break the draft. And just look at this line of cars behind him. I expected this to be a bit of a procession, at least for the first half of the race. And Alex, was I wrong?
Definitely not. These guys are using all of the draft that they can, working together to catch up to the car in front of them and make up positions. And it's been a very great race so far. We've seen desperation moves that it looks like you would see on the last lap of any race. With these drivers going at it as hard as they can to try and make up spots early, as Borovic gets back under a second of Soto. We're going to see if he can make a move down this back straightaway. He's got to get a good run through these 2 corners right here, hard braking into both of them. And looks like Borovic got a much better run than Soto out of that corner. He's going to get a big run down this back straightaway.
And we've got a battle back here. Looks like Langer was just able to take the position on Horn. Go back here and watch this. Don't quite know what happened to Horn. Seemed to be okay, and Langer just came out of nowhere to make the move. Number 17 there as we're watching right now. No, he just gets by him there through 7. Great move.
That looks like a great run through the start of those two corners. He got a great run on Horan there. He was able to get right up, right just to his rear quarter panel, then late braking into the second part. The harder braking zone, it's a tighter corner, more of an angle that you're trying to turn into, and a very great pass by that driver.
Yeah, absolutely it was. Just so I covered a race here on Slow Motion the other night by the name of American Muscle Series, and the racing there just blew my mind as well. Some of these series that I've gotten the chance to cover over the past couple of weeks have just, man, I wish I could do it. I don't want to be a part of this series because just the racing is so close all the time. Watching these guys, I mean, come on. You're telling me they can get through turn 5 mostly without hitting walls when they're this close together? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, all these drivers extremely talented from being able to control their cars when they're this close together. Racing for the lead, nonetheless. It's impressive seeing guys go through that when maybe they're not too aggressive, racing for maybe a top 10, maybe a top 5, but going that hard for the lead through some of the tightest and most challenging corners you'll see on iRacing. It's mesmerizing to watch these guys fly through here.
Absolutely. And you know how you mentioned that Soto, that's not what you wanted to see, Soto 1.2 seconds ahead? Why don't you go ahead and take a gander at the gap now, but we do have a move maybe on with Coimbra going for third place on Staub. He's going to get it done. Oh, is he though? He gets super loose through 10A and loses not one, but 2 positions, loses one to the open class of Foweather, who's in first place now.
And Foweather now, Otis Adams, he might be panicking a little back there. I know I would, because now he has to get past Coimbra if he wants to catch back up to Foweather. But it looks like Borovic and Soto pulled out a huge gap on David Staub through there. Probably the result of, I believe it was Coimbra getting loose in 10A and 10B, which checked all of them up. So now they're going to have to work together to catch it back up to these top 2. But it's going to be a very interesting battle for the lead because Borovic isn't going to have any support from the drivers behind him. He's going to have to make those moves all by himself. No help with a draft from the cars behind him. And now these guys, David Staub and Foweather, Coimbra, Otis Adams, all of these guys are going to have to work together to close down a 1.6 second gap to try and get back in contention for the lead.
Yeah, no, and hey guys, we're only 12 minutes into this race, so if you're just now getting here, welcome in. You've missed an amazing first 12 minutes. I can't wait to see what the last, how many? I can't do math. The last 33 minutes are going to be. So thank you, Alex. And what I wanted to mention here, so obviously oh my goodness, I can't even say anything. We've got more battles going on here for third place overall. People switching positions all the time as Staub looks like he's gonna lose it out to Coimbra. That time Coimbra does not get loose, gets by him again. That is for 4th overall, 3rd in his class, in the pro class, and you know Coimbra's now trying to get a move on it. He wants to get back up there to those leaders. But like I was gonna mention here, what do you do if you're Soto and Borovic right now? You're just, you want to race, but you just kind of want to gap the field a little bit if you can, which it doesn't look like it's really working out that well because I can see Foweather back there in the background.
And now, if Soto and Borovic work together, they can use that bump draft that we've talked about with these Miatas, as it looks like maybe a little bit of contact through the S's, maybe. It might have just been my eyes playing tricks on me. But if they can work together and use that bump draft down these straightaways, which they are, as we mentioned it, these drivers are going to be able to open up a considerable gap to the cars behind them. And if they can stay like that throughout the rest of the race, as Foweather actually pulls within a second, but if they can increase that gap, it's going to greatly improve their chances in the latter half of this race as they can duke it out with nobody breathing down their necks. But Foweather, he's going to get back within a good slipstream range, and Foweather is back in this race for the lead.
Here's what I forgot to mention, guys. So I just showed you Paulo Coimbra going into and coming out of the pit lane. There is a forced pit stop here. They need to make at least one stop on fuel, and that's an early one. I don't know. Brendan didn't give me what exactly. Oh, 40% fuel. There we go. So Splash of fuel required for the 45-minute race, which tells me that maybe Coimbra, I apologize. Yeah. Coimbra just decided to come in a little early and get everything done. I am now seeing that there are 2 Coimbras in this race. We've got Rui Coimbra and Paulo Coimbra. So, yeah, one of them's in the open class, the other one's in the pro. I don't think the pro Coimbra went into the pits here. As we can see, as they are duking it out now, Foweather getting past Soto. Oh, no!
Almost into the wall. Borovic went for a very aggressive side-by-side move through the S's. Foweather tried to take advantage of it, and it looks like Soto just got pushed off track there when he came back on the track to try and save it. He had 2 wheels in the grass, 2 wheels on the asphalt. Not a lot of grip on that left side of the car, and it just threw him around there.
Oh, man, yeah. Trying to see here if we can get that pulled up here. Looks like we can right now. Yeah, through the...
Ooh, bit of contact.
Yeah.
From Foweather. And he hit the 78 of... He hits the 78 of Rui Coimbra as well before spinning around. But now, I know the draft is still going to play a pretty big role, but Foweather, he might have a bit of work to do to catch up back to Borovic, unless that didn't affect him that much.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll go back live here and see what's going on there. Shame for Soto for that to happen, but, you know, things will happen when you're this close. And you know how we mentioned Foweather trying to work to get back up to Borovic? Well, he's here. And pretty impressive to see an open class driver up here trying to make it around the outside here into turn 1. I don't know if he's gonna go for the over. Is he? He's gonna try to make a move through the S's.
Going for it. He did it last lap.
He's gonna almost try it again. Loses some time there, and that allows Coimbra to catch right back up to the back of Foweather again. So this battle, this is for first overall. And for an open class, Foweather, they're in second place right now overall. First place by a long shot. His closest competitor is Otis Adams back there in ninth at the moment. Go ahead and go back here while we've got a bit of a break. See if we can get some of these guys back here in 6th, 7th, and 8th right now. So we're going to get on here with Langer. You know, this battle between Langer, Horn, Jordy Fike, Otis Adams, San Inocencio, all these guys are extremely close as well.
Yeah, but going back to what we were saying about Foweather, while we have some great battles back here for position between 6th through 10th, if Foweather can keep that 236 up there, it's going to be a fantastic point stay for him in these standings. Remember, these guys, they aren't fighting for class points, they're fighting for points overall. It doesn't matter if you're an open driver and you win your class, even if you finish 3rd overall, you're getting 3rd overall points. You aren't getting first class points. It's actually Rui Coimbra comes into the pits, but if Foweather can keep this Miata up here, he's going to have a fantastic points day for himself.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and I believe Coimbra's probably just coming in. Tires are optional. I don't think any of these guys are going to be taking tires as close as the racing is, and this ain't no F1 pit stop. So I would assume that these guys are probably just coming in for a dash of gas, or a splash and dash, and head back out, get the amount of fuel they need in the car, and get back to racing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're coming up, looks like maybe 4 minutes short of halfway, but that's still a 4-minute undercut, and it's about 1.5 minutes laps around this track for these cars. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It doesn't look like Coimbra's going to have a lot of draft help as Kevin Langer tries to pull a move on David Staub. He's going to get to his inside, late braking in here. He's done it before.
He's already done this once.
He's not going to get out on Staub, and now Horn's going to get to his outside, coming down this long straightaway. Horn's in the draft line, and he's going to clear Kevin Langer as they come down this back straightaway.
Let's stick on this for a second here, because Horn had a heck of a run coming out of there, out of 7. So we're going to see what he can do into 10. Is he going to try to make another move here around the outside? No, this is going to get super tight as he has to cut back across the nose of Langer. No harm, no foul quite yet. Horn's going to get another pretty big run, though, coming down out of 12, down the... Oh, no. Staub comes into the pits. Horn keeps driving. That's going to hurt Horn just a little bit. Going to see how that works out in the pit stops here.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Horn was expecting that at all from Staub. And Staub just completely chopped the nose of Horn off. That might damage that man a little bit, as we still have a battle for the lead going on 20 minutes into this race. And the 41 back there, he's a part of this as well. But Foeweather, it's great to see an open driver doing this well.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive to see, and Foeweather can keep this race pace up. I'd put him in as a potential winner here tonight. I'm not trying to commentator's curse you. I promise, Simon. Please don't wreck now. But no, he's doing a great job so far battling. These top three have definitely put a bit of a gap here between fourth place and of Brendan Horn, who at the moment is now third place in his class due to Staub coming into the pits. So going to be interesting here to see how these guys can do. And again, pit stops are going to be everything. Bit of an off track here with Charles Vaccaro. Kind of see what happened to him.
Looks... I think he just sent it too hard in this corner.
Yeah, he did.
What happened.
Yeah, well, that wasn't too bad. Able to keep it going down the backstretch. May have even gained a little bit of time there. But anyways, back to the lead. Kind of see what we got going on. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Nope, still 1, 2, 3 here for Foeweather. Borovic, Foeweather, and Rath. As Rath comes into the pits, is Brennan going to come in as well, or is he going to keep coming around? He's going to keep driving.
Yeah, and now is like we were talking about with drivers that pull away, they have an opportunity to make up some time here if they choose to stay out. If they can get right with each other and draft down down these straightaways, they can make up quite a bit of time on Horn here and their competitors that are currently in the pits. So we have to see, will these guys stick together and try and make up some time using the draft with each other? Or will one of them try and undercut the other to try and make some ground up on a bit heavier car with more fuel? But obviously they need fuel to finish this race.
Yeah, they do, and that's going to be the end all be all, right? I mean, obviously less fuel means a lighter car, but that means a heavier car towards the end of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are able to kind of work this all out. Saw some drivers coming in early. Saw some of them come in late. I don't know how much the tires will cool down here getting through. You know, as you come into the pits, I don't think they'll probably cool down that much, but you may have a bit of a rougher outlap. So it's going to be interesting. I would expect Brennan seems to really not be gaining any time as this battle up front. Every time I click away from it, they're back together again.
Now, every lap, we got to be eyeing pit road to see if one of them pits, they both elect to stay out again. Now, we can keep an eye on Horn and Langer as well to see if they come in. It looks like they both also elect to stay out. As we're looking at Horn in the 45 right now, they both elect to stay out, as well as two of the cars behind them. That is, I believe, Inocencio and Hayes in the 165.
It definitely is, and there's Inocencio there, second in the open class right now. Hayes third in the open class, fifth and sixth respectively overall. Just kind of running really kind of their own race right now. Gaps have started to form just a little bit. A lot of that has to do with pit stops, so don't be too worried, guys, as Brennan got way wide up there. Able to get back onto the track okay, but woo, that was a bit of a moment for Brennan.
Yeah, now that's going to get Langer closer to the back bumper of that 45. Langer, either he's going to stay behind and try and maybe make up some time using that draft, or he might make a move to try and further advance himself as they're running for points in the Pro Series, even with Foeweather in front of him. But again, as they come through 10A and 10B and through turn 11, we have to see if these guys pit. And now Foeweather and Borovic in a dogfight as they come down to break into 10A and 10B. Borovic might not have a good run through here, but it looks like they're going to stay even.
I think
we have to see.
They're probably just waiting to see who bites first, who hits the pit lane first, and they're going around again. I don't know how much gas these cars have. I know they've got 40%, but man, They're still going. And Brennan and Kevin behind him both come in. Michael San Inocencio. First one, followed by Sean Hayes, are the first two in this little group of cars coming in here. As, Joshua Soto, saw him wreck. Back up here into fifth all of a sudden.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe that he has pitted, so he might just be trying to take advantage of a lighter car to make up as much time as he can before he comes into his pit stall, unless he's already pitted. Which, if he's already pitted, which, no, he hasn't, so it's going to be really interesting to see how much time he can make up on the leaders without the draft. He is 7.7 seconds away from that car in front of him of Kevin Langer. So, I'm not sure how he can get back into contention for this race, but if he can put on a hell of a drive to try and get back into draft range, which looks like it's going to be extremely difficult to do, maybe impossible for him. But if he can set down some really fast laps, he can make up some time. And while it might not be in draft range as the leaders go side by side, it'll get him up there.
Yeah, and here they come down the backstretch again. It looks like Foweather's going to have the line this time. He gets past Borovic there. Foweather up into first place overall. So, good job on Foweather. Now let's see if he decides, nope, that was what Borovic was waiting for, I think. Borovic bites first, gets into the pits. So this is going to be a battle here coming out of the pits. Be ready. So this is going to probably form here in the next couple laps, depending on when Foweather decides to come in. And Horan up there into second place.
And we need to keep track of Borovic's competitors as well that were fighting for the lead. We had Roth after his pit stop. We had Coimbra, Otis Adams, David Staub, all of those guys. We're going to have to see if they can catch up to Borovic and Foweather, as well as Brendan Horan, after these pit stops. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can get back up there and put themselves back in contention after a few minute undercut from some of these drivers, as Roth goes for a bit of a move. It looks like he's going to get his nose out front, and he's going to clear Coimbra into turn one. Coimbra doesn't go for the over-under. He's going to stay right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so right now it's looking like, was Coimbra able? He was. So Joshua Soto up here for third place. I apologize. And we've got Rath up here into fourth right now. Where did Borovic filter out? He's back there in eighth position right now. Pull up the pit strategy again to kind of see when these guys have and haven't pitted. We've kind of lost track of that. Been a lot going on here. So looking like Coimbra has already stopped, as well as Rath. So Borovic has lost big time, lost out on these pit stops.
And whether it's pit speed, outlap speed, in-lap speed, as Foweather comes into the pits, Foweather, he might be really even with Borovic here. So he might not be able to maintain the lead after this. He might get put out by a 3-second gap like Borovic has already been given, which is going to be very difficult to overcome in the latter half of this race. But Foweather currently in his pit stall as Soto stays out and sets the Soto currently has the fastest lap of the race with a 1:35.817.
So Coimbra's
obviously very fast, very aggressive.
So you can see Coimbra there, fourth place on the track, crossing the start-finish line right now. It looks like he's going to get this done easily as Coimbra gets past Foweather. Holy cow, these early pit stops may have worked out in their favor.
And Soto hasn't pit yet, and he's going to have to pit eventually, which is going to put him behind these guys. So you are currently watching the race for the quote-unquote lead. Coimbra, Roth, and Otis Adams. It's going to be these three trying to race for the lead. You have an open driver, 2 pros, and if Otis Adams can win this race, it's going to boost him up in the standings as he's going to get two positions out on Foweather. And Coimbra and Roth, a very good point stay for them as well if they can maintain these spots. All three of these drivers will end up on the podium when Soto pits.
Yeah, absolutely. We can go back here. I can switch this over to Clash real quick and kind of show you where everybody is in class. So right now, Soto in the lead in the pro class. Remember, he has not pitted yet, so he's still going to have to. So that's going to give Coimbra the overall lead as well as first place in the pro. with Otis Adams back there on the back of these two, right behind Wrath. So, yeah, again, Adams 3 seconds ahead right now of his closest open class competitor, fighting for the lead here.
Soto comes into the pit, so now this is going to be the official battle for the lead. Roth, Coimbra, and Otis Adams all going to be going at it here as hard as they can. They have fuel to burn. They don't need to pit again. They've already done their one pit stop that they have to perform. But we also need to see Borovic 3 seconds out. Now under 3 seconds, if they can set some really solid lap times, and if Borovic can work with the people around him, he might put himself back in contention for this race.
Yeah, kind of watching here with Borovic there in 4th place at the moment. What happened to Brennan Horn, who was pretty close to Borovic when they came into the pits, and really not so much anymore?
And green flag pit stops obviously vital to a race's success, especially in this form. If you get a bad out lap or a bad in lap, it can really kill your time. That might have, or he can get a bad entry on pits. He can get a bad exit. You know, you're not maintaining as much speed as you would have liked. That might have been exactly what happened to Brennan Horn in that 45. He's currently 10th overall. I want to say 7th in class. So he just has to wheel that thing around to the best of his abilities to try and make it up. As he gets to the grass a lot there. An incredible save, actually, as he goes side by side with the 77. He's going to lose that spot. And Inocencio is going to end up ahead.
Yeah, so here we are back on the leader again. Got Coimbra, Wrath, and Adams here. Top 3 at the moment. Pretty big gap there between Adams and Borovic back there for 4th overall, and then Fike back there in 5th. Got a bit of a battle going on there, but this battle here right now between Inocencio, Horn, and Langer is brewing, and Soto back. Where is Soto? I thought he was back there, unless Soto's just come into the pits, maybe?
He already pitted.
Yeah, he did. So, yeah, this is this battle here is right now getting pretty intense at the moment. Zableski, Inocencio, Langer, and Horn all right on each other. This would be for Horn and Langer. This is a battle for 5th place, 6th place in class. 7th place in class.
A battle for 7th place in class. It's not going to be where these guys wanted up. It looks like that's the back half of the field for their class. So it's not going to be a good points day for these guys. They just have to ride around and try and log some laps. Maybe see if their competitors slip up to try and make up some spots here. As Borovic, he gets within a 2.7 second gap there, 2.8 now. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain it, but Borovic is pushing as hard as he can to try and catch up to those leaders.
Yeah, he is, and it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to get it done. Only got about 12 minutes left in this session, so it's going to be pretty important for Borovic to start throwing in some pretty fiery laps here to gain 3 seconds on this top 3. But if you guys have been with us the whole time, I hope you're not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a barn burner for the finish. All 3 of these guys up here have been nose to tail ever since they've come out of the pits. And, you know, Coimbra kind of lost a bit of the edge there at the beginning of the race. Decided to pit pretty early, and that absolutely paid dividends for him as he finds himself back up here in 1st place. But, again, Wrath and Adams, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and Rui Coimbra, he might have just been using the draft of the cars around him that hadn't pitted that he was able to come out with, just be able to maintain speed, take advantage of the lighter cars being just a tad quicker, being able to make up some time, and ultimately it adds up to a 3-second gap over Borovic. And this battle for the win is going to be extremely intense. All of these guys, doesn't matter their class, and it doesn't matter what they are trying to do, whether they're going for championship, whether they're racing for fun, all three of these guys are going to be extremely hungry for a win here. At least I would be. I don't know about them, but if I'm in their situation, I'm wanting to win this race. You know, I played my cards right. I'm up there at the end. I'm wanting to win this race, and I'm going to pull out all the possible stops to do it. And we're going to have to see if they're going to have that mindset and try and pull some desperate moves, especially with the dive bombs that you can pull off into some of the heavier braking zones and with the runs that you can gain down these straightaways. It's going to be pretty fun to see what they can do with them to try and fight for the win here.
This is not what Borovic wants right now, fighting for, well, third place in class. Fourth place overall. Foweather has not left him alone, so this has become like a two-pack battle, really. You know, for first in class, or for first overall and then fourth overall. These guys have kind of distanced themselves. I don't think Borovic's worried too much about those three guys in front anymore, as he is worried about the guy who seems extremely quick right behind him, and Simon Foweather.
Yeah, and if I'm putting myself in their shoes, I'm starting to worry less about the leaders. You know, 10 minutes left in this race, still a lot of time, but a 3-second gap is even more time, and it's going to be very difficult to make that up without a mistake from these leaders. So I'm more worried about Foweather, and especially down this back straightaway. Foweather and Fike, they're going to be, especially through these last couple of laps, they're going to be trying to pull out all the stops to try and get in front of the 75, to try and get some points here, get some better points that they can. And exactly what I was saying, Foweather pulls to the left side down this straightaway. He's going to have the inside through 10A and 10B into this heavy braking zone. We've seen these two do it before, battling for the lead, as Foweather takes the 4th spot, second in class. Otis Adams, the leader in front of him, I don't think he's going to be able to catch him, Adam.
No, I don't think so. Otis is just hanging on to the back of these two. I'd be pretty happy right now with third place. If you've got a driver like Rui Coimbra and Tom Rath in front of you, you're doing pretty well. And be able to hang on to the back of these guys like he's doing. And if you guys are looking right now and looking at the timing tower there on the left side and you're going, what happened to Joshua Soto? Well, here's what happened to Joshua Soto. Coming down into turn 1. Gets on the curb just a little bit going into 2, and there he goes.
That's just too aggressive. Off corner exit, you know, he was obviously going out, barely made the corner, and he just never lifted as he was even going sideways, which detrimental to that car as it causes him to spin for the second time this race. As this battle for the lead starts to heat up, Tom Roth doing a great job. He's letting Coimbra know, even if he falls back a little, he's letting Coimbra know, hey, I'm there. Be scared.
Yeah.
And obviously, intimidation going to be a huge part of this, I think, as Coimbra realizes he can't outrun these two cars behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. And sounds like there was a bit going on back there in the back. I heard a bit of an explosion, but nothing has popped up really on the timing tower quite yet, so don't quite know what happened back there, but everybody seems to be going pretty. Actually, Andrew Wozencroft here. See what happened to him.
And obviously, he towed back to the pits. Something major happened. He hits the curb off the corner. He just slows down. I think he might have run out of fuel. If we can take on the onboard and try and listen for engine noise, and maybe the RPMs as well, I think he just ran out of fuel. Maybe stayed out too long. Didn't think he had to pit. Doesn't look like if he ran out of fuel, he's not completely out, as the engine is still running, but it just can't push him forward.
Huh.
Either that, or maybe he's just had enough tonight. I'm not sure.
Well, who knows? But back here on the battle, we've got Otis Adams. Oh, Otis gonna go for the right hand. Go on the right side. He's like, nah, probably better not. Going into 6. Maybe try it again going here into 10A down the back stretch. Right now, we've got about 7 minutes left. So 6 minutes now. So anything, if you're gonna be pushing, you better start pushing now.
And I want to say, ignore my last comment about Coimbra realizing he can't outrun these guys. Is when I said that, they were Roth was 3/10 off him, right back up on his bumper, and especially with them racing back there, it's not going to help them in catching up to Coimbra. Ignore my last comment of saying Coimbra can't outrun these guys. He pulled out an 0.8 of a second gap through some of these tighter corners that you have to brake for. But now, obviously, with the draft and a great corner by Roth through 10A and 10B down this front straightaway, it's going to put him back within 0.3, and it's going to give him a shot again as we come down into 5.5 minutes remaining.
The ebbing and the flowing of the gaps and the intervals are it's just nonstop. You make one little mistake as now Roth all of a sudden, I apologize, has decided to go for a move on Coimbra. Not able to get it done here. You're going to have to hold on through the S's. Maybe your next opportunity will be after turn 5 if Coimbra makes a mistake, but let's be honest, I haven't seen Coimbra make one yet, and I don't think he's going to now.
Yeah, but 0.2 of a second back, even if Coimbra doesn't make a mistake, he's going to get a big run down this straightaway. He might be able to pull a dive bomb pass off here in the later laps of this race, as these three running very hard laps. They've been doing a fantastic job. All three of them, their fastest lap has been a 1:35. Roth with a 1:35.9, and both Coimbra and Otis Adams with a 1:35.8. A great job by these guys. I don't think they have to worry about Foweather, Borovic, and Fike behind them. They've opened up a 5-second gap, so now they just got to focus forward and see if they can win this race.
Yep, I think they're the eyes have definitely started looking through the windshield. I don't think that mirror means much anymore for especially Adams at the moment, but he's I think Wrath is still pretty intent on that mirror as well as that windshield. So Wrath, I believe, is probably in the worst position right now out of these three, because he's trying to make an overtake while trying to defend at the same time.
Yeah, and then you got to look at Coimbra up there. He wants to look out that windshield to try and set the fastest laps he can. But with two cars behind him that are both also searching for a win here, it's not going to be easy. He has to mirror drive, at least I would think, down these straightaways. Maybe through some of the full throttle corners you don't need to worry about too much. He's going to be mirror driving these two all the way till the end. So I'm not going to be shocked if maybe Coimbra slips up right there, trying to just mirror drive these guys to try and keep in front of him. But I think he did make a mistake through turn 5.
He did, actually. If we want to go back and watch that real quick and try to get back here to the action if we can. So here comes... that was Paulo Coimbra, not Rui. I apologize. That was the wrong person. So we're going to go ahead and go back here to the lead. Apologies, Paulo. I didn't mean to call you out like that.
Yeah, now Roth, fantastic run. He's getting within 1/10 of a second. He goes to the inside. He's going to attempt a move through 10A and 10B. Almost gets the nose out front under braking. They're going to stay side by side. And looks like Coimbra's going to get the better of him on exit. And now, what does Otis Adams do? And it looks like he tried to move to the inside there. Rath throws a mean block on him and keeps that 41 in second place. We're winding down the last 2.5 minutes of this race. Probably 2-3 laps to go. These guys are going to start to get desperate here, trying to throw the biggest moves they can while setting the fastest laps possible to try and win this race.
Yeah, this is unbelievable racing by the top three right now. It's been unbelievable racing throughout the whole pack, to be honest. So, again, being a broadcaster, and if you're coming back and watching these streams, you have to understand that when the racing is this close throughout the whole pack, it is so hard. I mean, we've got Borovic back here still fighting with Jordy, Fike, and Staub. Or I apologize, Foweather fighting with Borovic and Fike. So these guys are still up here just trying to get what they can out of this race. And, at the moment, that's second in class. As looks like Adams may have gone off track here.
I think he did. He's slowing up on the straightaway, which has now opened up a 7/10 gap between the leader and between Coimbra and Rath. And Adams 9/10 of a second back as we're seeing him swerve down the back straightaway trying to break that draft. Jordy Fike gets to the right side just barely of Borovic.
Not able to get there yet. Or is he? As Fike makes a move down the inside.
You mean Borovic?
Borovic makes a move down the inside. I'm going to get this right one of these days, guys, I promise. And Borovic gets it done.
Now, Fike tries to make a move to the inside of Foweather, but I want to take a look back at these leaders. That's the white flag right there. This is the last lap. This is these guys' last opportunity to try and make a move. Otis Adams, unless these two leaders slip up, which I don't think is very likely, it's not going to be easy for Adams to make up a 9/10 of a second gap for the win down here as he moves it into 8/10 of a second. But Rath, he has to hit his marks as well as he can here. Take advantage of the draft, try and make a dive bomb pass down into 10A and 10B. I don't think he can do it in 6 and 7. He's going to have to get that run, maintain the gap through 6 and 7, and get a huge run down the back straightaway to try and pass Coimbra.
Yeah, he is. This is going to be impressive. This is going to be the really last place he can do it because I don't think he's going to have room coming out of 12 to the start-finish line. He has lost a little bit of time here. Gonna have to see if he's gonna be able to make the move at this moment. You can see Coimbra doing everything he can to break that slip. Rath just decides to stay where he is.
I'm calling a dive bomb pass here. They're gonna get greedy here. Rath is he's pulled within 2.5 tenths. He's gonna have to do all he can. He tries to go to the inside, doesn't dive bomb him. He stays back behind Coimbra. He's run up front this race, pitted early with the undercut.
But here he comes
Rath
now.
Might have a shot down the hill. Rath
is going
to the inside just barely. Coimbra takes the block, and Coimbra is going to win a fantastic race, a fantastic pit strategy, and a fantastic win for the 78. Rath ends up second, and for the Open, Otis Adams is going to take the win with Simon Foweather in second. A fantastic race from all of these drivers and a fantastic battle for the win on the last lap.
Unbelievable racing. That was great to watch. And again, I apologize. We followed the top guys quite a bit, but man, I mean, you cannot get any better than that. Those last lap moves, the last lap attempts, and they kept it all clean. It was pretty impressive to see here. We can get on board here with Hayes. Sean Hayes about to cross the line here, 5th in class. Not too bad of a day for Sean Hayes. Vaccaro is going to come across 6th in class. And that is going to round out. Looks like Brockway is out of the race. Provinas is still in it. So he will be coming across the line eventually, taking 9th in class. But once all these guys get across the line here, we'll pull up the results and go from there. We're going to have the interviews from the top 3 in each class tonight. So stick around. We'll kind of get everybody. Whoa. I think Provinas is still trying to get across the line here. And he does it.
I think Foweather's just having some fun after the checkered flag, just spins it. He's going to back up across the line. He's just having some fun at the end of this race, and I think he deserves it. A 2nd place in class, 5th overall, after a fantastic race from him. I think he has reason to celebrate even if he didn't win his class.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and here we go. I'll take you through the pro results real quick, and then I'll let I'll let Alex take you through the Open class. So first place, Rui Coimbra. Unbelievable race between him and Tom Rath, who finished 2nd place. 3rd place, Nicky Borovic. Came in just a little bit late, and I think that hurt him just a little bit when it came to getting the win, but still comes home on the podium for the pro class. Jordy Fike 4th, David Staub 5th. Brendan Horn, who was up there for a little while again, I think pit strategy hurt him just a little bit. 7th coming home 7th is Kevin Langer. 8th is Brian Zabelski. 9th is Joshua Soto, and then on to the Open class, Alex.
A fantastic race from all these drivers. In the end, Otis Adams Jr. driving for himself in that number 22 Miata. He wins the Open class, 3rd overall. Simon Foweather, a fantastic drive from him all race, leads him to 2nd. Michael Inocencio, he finishes 3rd in that number 77. Jose Gonzalez, he's in 4th. Sean Hayes, 5th. Charles Vaccaro, 6th. Greg Brockway, 7th. Paolo Coimbra, 8th. Andrew Wozencroft 9th, and Patrick Prevenos rounds out your Open class with a 10th place finish.
All right, let's see what we can do here to try to get some people in here to the broadcast booth. See who we've got waiting at the moment. Right now, doesn't look like we have anybody. So while we're waiting here, why don't you give us your thoughts, Alex? It was pretty impressive for most of the drivers out there.
Personally, I think I've watched some fantastic road racing. You know, we covered the XTC race at Sebring. I watched back the broadcast for AMS at Canadian Tire. But I honestly think, out of all the races that I've watched on iRacing, I gotta say it, I think this is my most favorite road race I have ever watched. We saw fantastic racing all throughout the 45-minute period that these guys had to drive in. A fantastic race from each and every one of these drivers. We had great moves for the win, great moves for the lead, pitch strategy. We had great moves throughout the field, just people battling and battling and battling, trying to make up as much spots as they can to try and get the most points as they can. I had a lot of fun covering this race, and I feel like this series deserves more recognition. They did a fantastic job here tonight with all 20 of these drivers, and they did. This race was just awesome. I loved it.
It absolutely was. Now, we do have some drivers starting to filter in here into the interview waiting booth. Right now, we're going to pull in Pro Class. Second place overall, as well as second place in the pros. Tom Rath, congratulations, my man. That was a heck of a race for you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Rui's a real good driver.
Yeah, he is. I mean, we watched that battle throughout. I mean, it went on the whole race. Kind of walk us through. It looked like pit strategy really is what came down to, making or breaking you.
Yeah. How you did on your pit, and Rui and I must have both executed. So, the draft is a good thing. That's why they let me catch up and get some time on the first half of the race. And then when he came out, we were right there together, right? I just got in front of him when he came out, but then we went back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, we watched you try to make that move there at the end. Just wasn't quite there out of turn 12. We were rooting for you, Tom, but that was, again, great racing between both of you guys. Anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out for making it happen?
Sure. Got my friends at Ace Motorsport down in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Guys took care of my track car for years, so those are the guys I always talk about. So good guys.
Awesome, Tom. Well, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for putting on a heck of a show here for Slow Motion tonight, and we hope to see you next week.
Sounds great. Take care, guys.
You as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Tom Rath, the second place finisher of the open, or of the pro class, I apologize. Gonna get here right now. We got Rui Coimbra gonna join us here for first place in the pro class. Alex, I'll let you take this one away.
Coimbra, a fantastic drive from you today. What do you think won you this race? Was it pitch strategy? Was it pure raw speed? What do you think got you on top at the end of the day here?
Hey, Alex. I think a little bit of pit strategy. I definitely wanted to pit early and kind of break away from the leaders a little bit. I saw them battling and felt like I had a little more pace once I got in clean air. But once I came out, Tom was right there, and I've raced Tom before. He's super quick, so it was a matter of trying to work together and close that gap to the leaders before they went in for their pit stops. And, good battle with Tom at the end of the race, and was able to pull it off. Definitely had a little luck on my side too.
And I got another question that's been on my mind. I want to know what was going through your head the entire last 5 minutes. You're trying to hold off one of the fastest guys in Spec-5 for the win at Road Atlanta. What's going through your head these final 5 minutes, and how did you hold on to it?
Yeah, the focus was trying to keep a good gap leading onto that back straight, and not let him go for the pass at the last chicane. So I was trying to build a gap through the S's and through the first two sectors. It wasn't easy. I know he was watching his mirrors a little bit with Otis behind him, so I think that helped distract him a little bit, and it was just enough to hold on to the lead.
And just to say it again, you put on a fantastic show and a fantastic drive for this race. Anybody you want to thank for being able to do that?
The boys over at Not a Team, guys over at Team Watson Racing, and Premier Racing Setups.
All right, that's all I got, Adam.
Awesome. Well, that was Rui Coimbra there, first place in the pro class. Great to hear from him. I'm going to go ahead and bring in open first place. It's going to be Otis Adams with one heck of a run to hold on to these two pro drivers in front of him. Otis, amazing run, man. Walk me through the start, and how'd you keep your cool out there?
Well, I haven't been practicing all week, so I was pretty much just like, let me just hang in here and see what happens at the end. A couple laps before the pit stop, everybody started getting a little argy-bargy, so we decided we should probably just pit and get out of this mess and see if we can break away, and I guess it worked out.
Yeah, I'd say it worked out pretty well, man. I mean, maybe that's a strat from now on. Just don't practice and take first in your class.
That's the joke with the guys. I don't practice and then I just jump in there and do well.
Well, I wanted to kind of talk us through these last 5-10 minutes of the race. You were just hanging on to the back of those two, Rui and Tom, and we thought you were going to have some opportunities there for a second to maybe even take a second or a first overall.
Yeah, I was saving fuel for a while, just trying to be certain I make it to the end, which worked out because I started sputtering at the exit of turn 1 right after the finish. So glad I saved that long. But once I thought I was pretty safe, I started putting a little pressure on the guy ahead, and I think he turned up the pace, and then it was tough to keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before I ask you who you want to shout out, I want to shout you out, fellow Indiana man to another. Not there anymore, out here in Phoenix, Arizona, but seeing you're from Indiana, so it's always good to see an Indiana driver up here showing these guys how to run. See, we don't just turn left, man. We turn right, too. But anyways, anybody you want to shout out, anybody you want to thank for making this happen tonight?
Well, I just moved to Indiana about 8 months ago from Charlotte, North Carolina, so even more roundy round over there.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to shout out my fellow #NotATeam guys, Team Watson Racing, Premier Racing Setups, great setups we get every week. My wife for tolerating me and all this mess.
Awesome, Otis. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I thanked everyone else, and I'm going to thank you for putting on a heck of a show for us here tonight, and we hope to see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Will do.
All right, and that was Otis Adams. Looks like that's going to be the final interview that we have for the night. Otis Adams, first place in your open class. So, Alex, I know you already talked about how the race was, and I just want to kind of expand on that and just say how amazing it was to be able to cover this league. I've been hoping I'd get a chance to do it, and I am so glad that all the admins and the Spec-5 World Tour guys allowed me to. And there's really not much more to say than what you have. The racing was just amazing throughout. There wasn't, Otis mentioned a little bit of argy-bargy, but that for how many cars were in this field, 19 cars, open and pros, everybody just did an amazing job keeping everything clean and all that good stuff. So again, big shout out to the guys here at Spec-5 World Tour. Shout out to Brendan Horn and Greg Brockovich for putting this on. Greg Brockway, I apologize, Greg. But anyways, yeah, unless there's anything else you want to say, I think we may call it a night.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that's been putting this on. Everybody here at Slow Motion Broadcasting for allowing me to be up here, and everybody down at Spec-5 for giving me and Adam a great race to watch over. But that's all I got. I had fun here tonight. I hope you guys had fun watching, and yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, from yours truly, Adam Thompson, and the always lovely, always awesome, great to have you on board, Alex Anderson. Until next time, this is Slow Motion Broadcasting. This concludes our coverage of the Spec-5 World Tour from Road Atlanta.